everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another makeup base video. It's been a while and I did kind of update my makeup base, so I decided to show you today how I have been doing it for the past weeks. So yeah, let's go ahead. On days where I feel like my eyes look a little tired, I like to apply eyelid tape. It just kind of like gives me a little bit of a more awake look. I just use regular eyelid tape. Like there's so many you can use. This is the one I'm using. And when this is done, my eyes look a little bit more awake. This is usually a thing that a lot of cosplayers like to do, use eyelid taping and stuff for certain looks. I also do that, so I have always kind of like a patch lying around. And yeah, I still don't really like using primer on my face, so that's why I don't use it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to pretty much the base of that. One of the things that I like to use is this palette, and I like to use that shade. It's very dark and you wonder like, what am I doing with the dark shade like this? I use it for my under eyes to cover them up first, but I basically cover up my dark circles with that, create a shadow, and as you can see, my face looks already flatter and not like before with all the quite evident darkness around. And then I use this corrector concealer and I'll apply it on the places that I need a little bit more coverage, I'll be honest, and I blend it out with the sponge. I know it looks kind of freaky right now but we're gonna fix that. But anyways, this is so far what I'm doing as for my base, like without primers and stuff like that. This is literally what I do first. Now the next thing I use is a foundation stick. This is also by Essence. My foundation really depends on the day. Sometimes I use a more thicker foundation, sometimes I use a serum. I like to often use the serum, but I'll do a video, like another video for that another time, because the serum I like to use it for, I guess, like special days. This is just like a regular everyday thing. I don't like the smell at all. It does not have perfume in it as far as I could tell and as far as I could read, but it does smell interesting. And I'll just apply that all over my face, and then I'll use, it's really dirty, I'm so sorry, I use this puffer sponge. I got this from Miniso. It is really dirty. It is very dirty, but it does the job. I'll blend out the foundation. But do you see how like nicely it looks? And that's all without a primer, I want to say, because I really don't like primer. And the problem is that sometimes if you don't use primer, foundation kind of like starts seeping into your pores, but nothing of that kind is happening. I have cat hair on my face. Do you know that? Like people who have a cat, they probably know that you feel kind of like the hair on your face. I feel it. The next thing I'm gonna use is the Trended Up 18-hour coverage concealer. It is a very lovely concealer. I really love this concealer a lot. It is very affordable and it does the trick so well. Like I use it for a little bit of extra coverage and it's just, it's amazing. I use a different puff for that one. I just use Cushion Puff from Clio. And as you can see, the cover, like the covering that we did earlier, just really covered up my dark circles. Like look. So if you want like extra coverage for your dark circles, do the trick I did. For my crevices, I always use like a little bit of a different sponge to really get into my inner corners. There we go. And done. This is kind of how I achieve my look for every day. Now I'm gonna continue with contour. For contouring, or more like not even contouring, I don't really like contouring, I like shading. For shading, I use this contour stick by Rival Love Me. It has two different colors. I use medium. I also have the light one because I'm obviously light, but I use the medium one because I like harsh contour. I just like my contour to be seen. This is obviously optional. Like not everyone likes harsh contour. I like harsh contour. Again, not even contour, shading, but whatever. I still don't really like doing my jawline. I still don't really like doing my cheekbones. I do like to do though kind of minimalizing my cheekbones. I'll be honest. I have really high cheekbones, if you can tell, like really high snatch cheekbones. I don't like it personally, so I do a few tricks on how to kind of like minimalize them. Now I'm just gonna blend my shading out. I always kind of like tell everyone to contour the nose the way it fits your face, but you can also always kind of like do a little, like cheat a little bit with that, because at the end of the day contour does take a lot away from your natural shape, and you can literally just really change your face structure with the right shading technique. I feel like the craziest I saw was once a woman doing different nose contours, and she literally made herself a crib nose, and then like the optical illusion was just crazy wild. So you can literally, like with contour, you have to be a little bit careful, but you can also go a little bit crazy with it. What I use above my cream contour, because with all the cream on my face you obviously have to set it at some point, and I like to use the Essence Contouring Duo palette. It is such a nice and affordable palette, and it's great. Like, it's literally great. I sometimes, depending on like how dark I want my contour to be, I either take like the darker shade or the lighter shade, but as I said, I like my contour to be a little bit more harsh, so I always use the darker shade first on like the tip of my nose to kind of like lift it, and then I use the lighter shade for my side, and yeah, I use the same brush for it. It's a Hello Kitty brush. Maybe you can see, oh there you go, look, it's a Hello Kitty brush. Isn't that cute? I cannot even tell you what brand that was. Soda, never mind, I can. It is written on here, Soda. Okay, I know it looks a little bit messy, but it's always the, like, when everything is done, then you know it looks good. Probably. I don't know how it looks on the camera. I feel like in the camera it's a little bit less crazy than it is in real life. The next thing I like to use is a blush. I switch blushes depending on my outfit and my lipstick for the day. Sometimes I like to use a little bit of a pink blush, sometimes lavender, and sometimes I like to use orange. Today we're gonna use red, and I mean like red. It's really nice blendable, so we can definitely work with this, but you obviously need to be careful how much you use. The brush that I'm using is this one, and why am I showing this? Because look, it's Kuromi. It's also by Zoda. I am going to dip access on my, that is the swatch, okay? Don't sweat it. It's a swatch. And then I like, because as I said, I have quite high cheekbones and I like to kind of reduce that. So I make sure that I apply my blush on here to fill that spot and take away from my high cheekbone. Sometimes I also like to do, what's it called? The boyfriend blush, but I like to do that when I have more of an orangey color on my cheeks rather than pink or red. Like, this is really extreme right now, and I know you're looking at me probably like, what is she doing? But trust the process. With this done, I know it looks crazy, and as I said, like, you have to put the, like, the look has to come together for it to look good. I'll be honest. I will use powder now. I cannot really show you properly, but this one is by Trigwell Cosmetics. It's a little bit of an pricier powder, but I do really like the powder. Actually, I do kind of recommend it. It's really fine powdered, but it is a really good powder. Like, when I'm telling you, it makes sure that I don't have any creases and stuff like that. I mean it. And as you can see, it kind of like already dims our contour a little bit and our blush, and then I let it sit for a second. I don't really dust it immediately off. Last but not least, for the look, I use my still all-time favorite Makeup Revolution highlighter in Set the Tone. And then I'll apply it on the highest points where I want a little bit of highlight. One of the things I don't do is highlight on my cheekbone, because obviously I do everything to tone it down. You don't want to put like a highlight on it to make it like pop again. Kind of logical. But what I do is I take a little bit and I just kind of apply it in this, you know, triangle, because I obviously want like filling here, so I'll apply highlighter wherever I want a little bit of filling. Not too much, because this isn't like a dewy highlighter, this is literally like a glitter highlighter, so I'm using a little bit to just kind of fill the spot. And as you can see, I already look in this area fuller, and this is what I want. And this is my base makeup. I'll finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll show you what it looks like as an end product. That is the finished look. I did my hair and I did the rest of my makeup, and that's how it looks. As I said, it has to come like all together. It's literally a trust the process type of moment. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was a little bit helpful, and yeah, I think I'll see you in the next video then. Bye.